here comes a new challenger!
What's up guys, my name is Elden, welcome back to another KOH video. In today's KOH video, we are going over the Theomars of this game. Yes, I said the Theomars of this game. We are going over the one, the only, I forgot her name. Medea, there we go. I genuinely just blanked for a second. But yeah, she's pretty much the Theomars of this game. So let's jump right into the video. Medea, a dragon wizard who seeks evil spells and magic. She is so cruel and wicked that no one has escaped her evil temptations. She has pleasure in seeing those who fall to evil and eventually get destroyed. Let's have a look at what your heart desires. Good being broken and destroyed is what makes things interesting. So she's a thick bitch. So, her first skill, Freezing Arrow. Blasts a chilled arrow to attack enemies within a target area. Successful hits reduce the action gauge of enemies hit by 10% if they have reduced mobility, meaning that if there's a mobility debuff on it, she will reduce their gauge by 10%. It's a normal skill, and it's actually an AoE hit type skill, so she can hit 3 characters all at once. It's the same U-type hit rotation that like Esperanza has and some other characters have at the same time. But now let's move on to her second skill. Her second skill is called Froststorm. Cast a Froststorm to attack enemies within the target area. The skill damage increases when you have more remaining HP. Meaning the more HP you have, the more it's going to hit. Successful hits reduce mobility of enemies. Hit for 1 turn if the action gauge is below 50. So you either want her to go really fast, which I would recommend, or have her be fairly slow and go right after the unit moves, so then their attack gauge is reset and then you reduce mobility, so it makes them that they can't reach you. But again, I would probably prefer to make her go faster, just so she is going to be ahead of the unit, and then you could slow them down and reduce their attack skill gauge. Now let's move on to her first passive, because she actually has 2. Her first passive is Cruel Witch. Medea's base crit is increased by 30%. Successful crit hits reduce the action gauge of enemies by 10%, meaning she will constantly reduce attack gauge no matter what attack she uses, whether it's her first and second skill, and that actually coincides. So if they have lower speed from decreasing their attack gauge, then the second skill will proc again and then make it immobile, and then if she's fast enough, she could possibly overlap them and then use her first skill and decrease attack gauge again. So about a 20% chance to decrease attack gauge, which is very, very useful, very, very viable. And because the crit rate is pretty high, it's easy to rune her to crit rate. And if you're going to rune her again, you'd probably want to rune her with crit rate and attack and speed and crit damage. But now let's move on to the second passive. Now let's move to our second passive, Medea's Puppet. No one can resist Medea's allurement. Medea's attacks will always have an advantage over target element, meaning no matter what element they are, she will always hit them. She will never land a glancing hit on them. I don't know if that coincides with if she gets glancing on her, because I haven't gotten glancing put on her, but basically for normal attacks, again, not knowing if glancing debuff affects her or not, she will always hit normally, or she'll always be able to crit no matter the problem. And that's the same thing as Theomars from Summoner's War. He crits on every single element, so he's like an element nuking king. Medea is actually decent for all scenarios, actually. So her being good for all scenarios essentially means she's good for rune dungeons and stuff like that. You can auto rune dungeons with her in your team fairly easily. She does reduce the boss's attack gauge and stuff like that, so it makes it nice to actually have her on your team. She's also good for PvP because, again, she has the AoE hits. All of her hits are AoE, and she has the Theomars passive, making it so she's the element king no matter what the situation is, meaning she could crit and reduce their attack gauge fairly easily too, to push the enemy's attack gauge back. So it makes it harder for them to get more turns, and it's easier for you to turn cycle as such. And she's also useful for armament. You can use her in there if you really want to, or you can use her as your main farming unit. She is an all-around good character, and if you have her, I would build her if you don't have a good farming unit, because again, she is an all-around good character. The only thing is she does have to have a couple spaces back, so if she does get cornered, she won't be able to attack necessarily, and it's kind of useless there. But at the same time, she is a decent farmer. She is a decent rune farmer and a decent contender in PvP, depending on the circumstances that you're going to be using her for. And you can also use her in TOA or TOA hard if you really want to, or even the guild raids and battles and stuff like that. So she's just an all-around good character, and she's fairly easy to build because she has such high crit rate that you don't have to worry about the crit rate, really. It's just getting her crit rate up a little bit more and then having some more crit damage, and that will be pretty good to utilize.
And that's it for the video. She is a very good unit. She can be used for anywhere, and I would recommend anyone building her. If you don't have her, she is, again, a good unit, and if you happen to get her, I would build her because she can be used for literally anywhere. Don't forget, I am live over my Twitch right now, twitch.tv/EldenDraws. I'm live over there. I do this every video, so you should know by now if you watch the video all the way through, but only a select for you if you do that, and I thank you for those that actually do. I am currently live over on Twitch. Don't forget to check out my social media accounts. They will be linked down below. Also, don't forget to join my Discord. I'm actually going to be pushing my Discord a lot more. I updated it, made it more friendly UI and stuff like that. There's also tabs for streamers, if streamers want to join the Discord, so you have a streamer-only chat and stuff like that. And there's also a area for my Patreon, so don't forget to check out my Patreon. You get cool rewards over on my Patreon if you decide to join and become a member over there and support me financially through those means. I will really appreciate that. And you, at a certain tier, you get your name at the end of every video or within the video. It doesn't matter if it's going to be the end or the beginning or somewhere in the middle of the video, but you'll have your name in said video. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Again, don't forget to check out all my other social medias and my art channel. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I will see you later. Peace. Bye-bye.